one of the concepts that came across was like pan-Arabism, which is like, like the north of Africa, like, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, so on and so forth, along with the Middle East, is considered like one like identity. And what was interesting was Egypt is actually one of the more powerful states because they're just like a lot bigger, and if I remember correctly, like they're resource rich as well. And so when this whole like pan-Arabism thing was being made, like Egypt was like a focal point in this because they're so powerful, right? And I forget the name of that leader for Egypt. If I remember correctly, it was Egypt. But a lot of his philosophies, not a lot, but there was parts of his philosophies where when you dissect it, it actually mimicked the race superiority that Hitler was trying to implement in Germany. And so that was just like a really like hit home kind of point. When I read that, I was like, oh, yeah, oh damn, like this is like this is serious, because when you internalize it and think about it, you're like, yeah, like I could totally see this. Like this makes a lot more sense. Obviously, it's not to this extent, and like you're not going and like starting up concentration camps and stuff, at least to my knowledge, but there are subtle instances of that, and it was just like really interesting to see that philosophy being embedded and really washing out what we're supposed to be teaching, which is like Islam. So yeah, that was a really
you know what,
interesting.
even if it's not like actual, like, in the concept of concentration camps, when you dehumanize people and put them in living accommodation that literally take away from their dignity as people, like you are aiming for that. You're just doing it within the law. So it's not even it's not even completely canceled. Like even if you have a lot of and I remember this very clearly from when I was in the Emirates. So it was a norm to have, and I think it's also very common in all Middle East countries to have, whether it's a nanny or just someone to come in for the day. It was normal. And the stories that you would hear and the way people would justify their actions to those people working in their homes is atrocious. Is absolutely like you would honestly, and you would see it all over like social media, the way that they treat them. It's either like she's got to sit at a different table to eat, or she can't, like she's living in a closet in the home that literally
sometimes they even eat the leftovers of what the family has.
It's
and
like
all the abuse stories as well that never make it to news outlets because everything's just so censored.
Exactly. So it's like, even if it's not an official kind of all of this is happening and it's illegal, like they're doing it with the bounds of the law, but they're not doing it in the bounds of being human beings. Like it's absolutely atrocious, and people just look past that, again, with the whole concept of, well, they chose to come here and they don't like it, they can go. Really? Really?
How else are they going to provide for their families?
Honestly.
Yeah. And when you bring up these conversations with them, they're just like, oh, like, are you trying to compare the racism that we have here to like the racism in the West? No one's dying here. And I'm just like, first of all, you guys don't know that because your news doesn't cover it. But second of all, it doesn't need to require people dying for it to be valid and legitimate.
Exactly.